As I build my coaching business, I want to know how to effectively serve clients and make more money doing it. This podcast will pull back the curtain to reveal exactly how successful coaches are building their empires. Join me as I engage with top coaches from all over the world to discover their secrets. No theatrics and no theory, just real life strategy. My name is William Winterton, and this is Coaching Success Radio.
Hey, welcome to Coaching Success Radio. My guest today says he has uncovered a map that anyone in any industry can use to get out of their career and into their calling without sacrificing any of their current family or financial needs. He's used this map to help people on a journey to becoming what he calls a soul venturer, which is someone who claims their truth and their power. I have a feeling this conversation is going to change some lives in a big way. I'm excited to introduce Mr. Robert B. McGinnis.
Thanks so much for having me on today, William.
Excited to have you here, man. So tell me, soul venturer, break this down a little bit before we get into the depths of it. Where did this kind of come from?
Yeah, it's a great question. Long story short, I grew up having two polar opposite ends of my family. My mom was first generation, born in the Middle East, and she was one of 10 siblings. They came here to the US with nothing. And all of my uncles, her brothers, became entrepreneurs. And on the other side of my family was my dad's side, was actually a very religious, spiritual, small-knit family. So I kind of grew up having these two polar opposite ends of my family. One was entrepreneurial and the other one was religious and spiritual. And at the same time, I kind of had like this polarizing, got a chance to see polar opposite ends of the spectrum where, one was a bunch of fun party animals and the other one, was very proper. And growing up, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I identified really early on as an entrepreneur. While I was in college, I had my first business experience. And out of college, I had my second business experience. And both of them just failed miserably. I got my teeth kicked in. I got my ass kicked. And it was actually the best thing that ever happened to me. But at the time, it was a really dark experience for me because having failed twice and identifying as an entrepreneur, I felt like I was lost. I felt like this was never going to work for me. I felt like a failure. And I realized that I went into business for the wrong reasons. I went into business for who I thought I was and not who I remembered myself to be. And so I had to support myself. I was living at home, not a clue of what to do. So I ended up getting a technology sales role in New York City. I had a 3-hour round trip commute to work every day. Taking the train into the city. And the first couple months at my tech sales role, I did really well. And then it was by that 6th month, like the phone got heavy and every day I showed up, I just felt like I didn't belong. I knew like in my body, like my stomach would turn, my heart would race. Like I knew like that something was off. And every day I would ask myself, I'm like, man, what would this take? That was the question that I asked myself. That was the inquiry that I went on. What would this take for someone to get out of their career and into their calling? Because I was getting a call for more, but I didn't know how I was going to like lead my salary or my benefits plan. And so that was the inquiry that I went on a discovery for. And I started working with some amazing people like Tony Robbins, Dr. Joe Vitale, Matthew Fox, Dr. Donnie Epstein, and other top psychologists and spiritual experts around this topic of calling and what it really means. And what I believe that it really means is that it's the call for our gifts and our soul to play full out in this lifetime. It's the call for more. And for me, in that process of uncovering that, I uncovered this map. And as I further looked at this map, it was really for myself, right, to get out of my career and into my calling. And then as I did some more research, I've noticed that there are actually two really big shifts in our society that are taking place right now. One is that there's a new economy that's already transitioning. We have the rise of the internet, we have the rise of social media, and we have the rise of robotics. Those three are actually shrinking the middle class right now. And in this new economy we're stepping into, it's like you're either becoming a producer or you're a consumer. The second movement that's happening is that there's a massive consciousness movement that's happening. And I believe that the new economy and this consciousness movement that are happening are actually entangled together, that they're really the same thing. And that they're leading us into a new society where soul is the standard. And I believe in this new society, this new economy, if you're not doing something at the foundation of your soul, I think it's going to be really hard to find something sustainable for yourself in the future. And so what I believe to be true is that the only way to really produce in this new economy is to actually deliver your gifts that come from your soul. And I believe that entrepreneurship, if done the right way, can be the perfect vehicle to make that happen. And so at my core of who I am, I truly believe that entrepreneurship and spirituality are actually more connected than they are disconnected. And I believe that entrepreneurship can be the highest form of spirituality, because ultimately, if you are experiencing an awakening, if you're experiencing a download, right, from life, but you don't do anything with it, then were you really awakened in the first place, right? It's one thing to have the awakening. It's one thing to have the realization, right? But it's another thing to take that and go to the world with it. And so that's what I believe entrepreneurship can be and is. And at Soul Venturer, what we're here to do is to help people really navigate their journey out of their career and into their truest expression of who they are, into their remembrance and into their mission, right, through the vehicle of entrepreneurship. So that's the long story short.
That's awesome. So you're able to take that experience, and again, a lot of really amazing names you mentioned there, and really the kind of the journey and the pit that you were in. And you said you forged this map, this kind of a sequence of events, or sequence of maybe this blueprint of how to do this. Can you break that down a little bit for us and share what kind of is behind the scenes there?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's really 3 stages to the map that anyone can use to get out of their career and into their calling. And the premise and the foundation of this map is that it's based on gaining clarity on your mission first, before ever deciding how you're going to monetize or leave your career. And this is based off of just like my first 2 mistakes in business, was that I went into it for the wrong reasons. I went into it because I thought I was going to be this young hotshot, right, at like every young man in his early 20s. And so, you know, I was in business for the wrong reasons. And so I had to clarify that mission first. And once I clarified the mission, that's when I then was able to start uncovering who are my soul clients. So the first stage of this map is called finding your path. And what finding your path is all about is about actually reconnecting to your compass that you came into this world with. So just like when you buy your laptop or your cell phone, it comes pre-programmed with games and apps, right, and coding on it. I believe that we came into this world, right, with a couple things. We came into this world with a guidance system, right, a compass. We came into this world with a knowingness about ourselves. We came into this world with gifts, and we came into this world with a map or a blueprint that we're here to build out. And that whenever we're off our map, or we're not on pace, or we're not on our trail that we're meant to be on, or our path, right, our compass is going to let us know that we're pointing south, right, that we're not heading in the right direction. And every time we're aligned on our path, our compass tells us that we're pointing north. And so every human being has a place in their body where their body says, hell yes. And every human being has a place in their body where their body says, hell no. And so what that is about recalibrating your compass to get you back to where your hell yes is, and get you back to understanding where your hell no is. And just by uncovering that compass, that is going to start your journey of getting you on your path. That's going to help you uncover what you think is meant for you. Now, once you start following your compass and using it, you're going to start uncovering your path. But what's going to happen usually for most people is that there's all these trees in the way, there's these boulders, there's all these things obstructing their view of having clarity. And so what those are really the parts of ourselves that have forgotten. And when we heal the parts of ourselves that have forgotten, we then remember who we are. And it's from this remembrance do we see where we are, and do we see our castle in the distance, our kingdom or queendom, and we see the path on how to go build it. And what this is about is really about literally clarifying your mission, clarifying and making sure your mission, your identity, and your vision all line up, right? And now when you're aligned in your gifts, you're aligned in this compass, you're aligned in this mission, there's the third piece, right, which is the third part of the journey, which is called walking your path. And what walking your path is all about is literally about becoming the walking, talking, living, breathing billboard of this message or truth or mission that you're here to live in this lifetime. And that's what allows someone to make the jump. It's an identity shift, right? If someone's going to make the jump, it's a total identity shift, right? We have to give up who we think we are for who we remember ourselves to be. And most of the time why someone takes the career, they take the role, they take the salary, right? It's usually because it's who they think they are, right? They think that this is what they want, but the reason why they get the call is because it's not really what they truly want, or it's not in alignment with who they truly are. Now that's the high level, right? So the first two phases is finding and clarifying. That's like, we're going to clarify your path. We're going to clarify your mission, right? We're going to uncover what's the impact that you're meant to make in this world, right? Once we gain clarity on that, then we're going to go to market. And then we're going to uncover, okay, well, who is your ideal client? I use the word soul client. Who is the client you were destined to serve and they were destined to work with you, right? What is that avatar? What is that makeup? What does that look like? And once we uncover that, then it's about clarifying the marketing and sales strategies to go meet them in the marketplace. And there's a way to do it around your current career, right? So almost all of my clients, I never tell them when they're leaving their career, right? And I actually never recommend someone leaving their career before they're ready. And there's usually three types of people that are going to leave their career. There's the bird. And the bird, just like every mama bird teaches its baby bird how to fly, it kicks the bird out of the nest, right? And sometimes you got to learn how to fly on the way down. Now, that's not everyone, but that was certainly me. And the reason why is because the energy that you lose by staying in your career could actually impact your ability to go and build your calling. For some people, it's too energetically draining for them to stay in the career, that the best thing that they can do energetically is to let go of the career and actually learn how to grab onto something better and learn how to fly on the way down. So that's archetype one. The second archetype is the bear. Now, what the bear needs is usually they have a family, they have cubs, right? They got to hibernate for the winter. And what we usually recommend for them is, before they're ready to leave their career, is really coming up with a plan of having anywhere from 4 to 8 or like 4 to 12 months of expenses saved, while also currently generating anywhere from 25 to 50%, roughly, these are rough numbers, of your current salary being made from your calling around your career. And at that point, it usually comes down to time or money, right? So do I want more time, right, to go build my calling? And if so, then I would leave my career, right? Or do I want to still save more money? If that's the case, I'll stay in my career until maybe I have a bonus or a quota or a big commission, right? Or something coming soon, right? And the third archetype in Avatar is the turtle. And what every turtle needs is just timing to go on their own pace and on their own journey. And they're like they might take a couple years. So, right, for certain people, it's a unique journey for everyone. So I've seen people do this in 3 to 6 months. I've seen other people do this in 3 to 5 years, right? It's a total, like the 3 stages are like, they don't happen overnight, right? They're a process and they're a journey that take time. And everyone comes to me at different stages. Some people already have their mission clarified. They have clarity on what that looks like, right? So they're ready to start walking. Some people have no idea of what this calling looks like. And so we start at the very beginning and we take them all the way through. And so that's the essence of it. The premise is built on clarifying your mission first. And then the second half is monetizing around your current career until you're ready to leave. So that's the big picture, high level overview. Hopefully that wasn't too long of a winded answer, but gave some depth.
No, it's interesting, because I know a lot of people listening and watching this right now are they're in this transition anyway. They've either become coaches recently, and a lot of people, especially a lot of my clients I've worked with, are people who have a full-time job who then shift and start becoming coaches and start wanting to work and start developing this. So a lot of the stuff that you talked about, client avatar, ideal client, really finding who it is you're aligned to work with, that's stuff that's the language of a lot of these people who are I know a lot of you listening are resonating with that. So I'm curious, because now when you make this shift, I'm just speaking on behalf of most of the coaches I've known, most people when they're a child don't go, oh my gosh, I'm gonna become a life coach. That's just not something that's on anybody's radar, right? So they eventually drift into this from something. They were in high finance, or they were a stay-at-home mom, or they were something else, and they became a coach. They got life coaching that changed their life. So now the question is, somebody who's already kind of in this process but still struggling with, what's typically like a trigger? What's something that would like get them to say, like, to define whether or not this is something that they are wanting to be in? Like, I really wanted to start coaching, or I really wanted to get into this path. How do they know that that's really what it is, and versus them just picking another thing to jump into because they were interested? How do they know that difference?
How do I know that this is it? Is your question?
Yeah,
for sure. So that goes back to the whole, okay, is this who I think I am, or is this who I'm remembering myself to be?
Yeah. So how do you break that down to where people can get because again, it's hard, right? Because you start thinking like, I really want to do this, and you start breaking it down. So how does that look?
Well, I have a program that's an in-depth, intensive course where it's an 8-week course with a live event, and it goes really deep. But for those that are really listening and want some tangible strategies to make this happen, you have to go deep. Like for someone to really uncover what they're here for, and it to be a shallow conversation is not going to happen. And for anyone to say that you're going to uncover this overnight is just like, it's blasphemy, and it's not real, right? And so like, you got to go really deep, and you got to connect to yourself in the really deep space. So a couple of things people can do on their own for that is like a lot of space for themselves, right? That's one thing. The second thing that they can do that's also easily done is they should ask people that are closest to them, like, what am I good at? What do you see in me? Right? That like is world class. What do I do that is so unique that many other people can't do on their own? And sometimes our gifts are the things that are really deep and true to us, are also so really close to us. They're like a blind spot itself, right? Like if you were to ask Michael Jordan, like, how did he hit so many game-winning shots? He'd be like, I don't know. I just did it, right? Because it came so natural and fluid to him. Right. So sometimes the things that we're so natural and good at, they're so like close to us, they're hard to see for ourselves. So our closest friends and family can give us that reflection. The third is really going deep in the presence and going deep into meditation and really listening to the depths of who you are. I'm a very deep man. I'm a mystical man. And you know, like going deep is very natural for me. For some people, it doesn't come natural for them. And so I'd recommend, right, meditations, different meditations that are available. For those that will want to learn more about my service, I will have a meditation as a gift, a free gift for those that will be listening, that helps them really uncover like what this truth is for them and what's the unconscious wall that they keep running into. So those are some base strategies that they can do on their own, but it's really an in-depth conversation. And I really think to do it the right way, I think you'd want to like have some reflection or a coach or like a mentor or someone to really reflect back to you what that looks like. And the other piece is to follow like what comes natural to you and excites you too. If it does excite you, chances are it is really real, right? On some level. And there also could be the element of like, oh, well, it's exciting because it's an outside thing, not really an inside thing. And that takes discernment, right? To really uncover where the distinction is or where the line is between what's exciting for you because it's coming from your natural essence and what's exciting for you because it's coming from an external place. So those are just some thoughts that I have that I think, and I think it's a great question that people can do on their own to get started. But it is an in-depth conversation and it's going to take some time.
It's like a lot of things in coaching in general, right? There are always some strategies, always something you can do on your own to start developing. I mean, honestly, you can start, figuring something out on your own and get to a certain degree of progress, but to really get the result, the core result you're looking for, working with somebody who has experience and who understands what they're doing and can speed up that process and do it effectively. Obviously, yeah. Coaching. Is it a one-on-one kind of a thing that you've got? Is this a group service? What kind of services do you offer?
Yeah, so for the first, everything's a combination of group, one-on-one, and live events. But depending on where you're at in your journey, the finding series, it's a very small segment, so that's very, very one-on-one. The clarify section, that's an 8-week course with a live event. And so that is done in group and a little one-on-one and a live experience. And then my walking series is a year-long mastermind where we're actually helping you build out your calling. And it's like a really in-depth process that gets 4 live events a year, 1 group call a week. They get 1 one-on-one with me every 2 weeks. There's a whole combination and a medley of things. Hey, William, I'm curious, would it be okay if I shared my screen? I have a model, a screenshot that I think could help the viewers that are watching this. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, and I know some of you are listening, but yeah, go ahead. Share your screen and we'll take a look.
Yeah, for sure. It just says I'm not able to share at the time.
Oh, I've got to actually do some work here. Hold on a second here. Hang on a second. There it is. Let's see if you're allowed to now.
Yeah, there we go. Great, cool. So and this will make sense even those for that are listening. But this is really the model of what we take people through the 3 stages. This is what we call the soul market fit. And really the soul market fit is the overlapping of where our gifts, overlap with our mission, that overlap with our soul clients. And where these three overlap is what we call the soul market fit, or the soul venturer's journey, where the soul venturer's journey begins. And this is really ground zero of your kingdom or queendom that you're here to build in this lifetime. And, for example, there might be someone who's in a career where your career is your calling, and God bless you. If you're a lawyer, if you're an accountant, if you're even a nurse right now, and you are in your calling, God bless you. But this is for someone who's not aligned, right? Or they know they're getting a calling for something bigger. You might be aligned in your gifts. You might be doing your natural, things that you're natural good at in your natural role. But if it's not aligned for your mission, chances are there's still going to feel like there's more, right? For example, when I was working at my tech sales company, I'm really good at closing deals, right? So I was naturally, a deal maker, right? That was my natural gift, but I was doing it for a company that it didn't fully light me up. The mission wasn't fully in alignment. And so because of that, there was a piece that was missing. There was still more. And we could be aligned in our gifts and our mission, but we're not fully serving our soul clients, right? And in some way, or it's not the right match in the marketplace. And that's why all three really kind of complete the cycle of really the soul market fit. So I just wanted to show a little visual here for your audience that might be viewing this.
No, that's fantastic. That helps to kind of clarify and make a lot of sense. And it is a very in-depth process, and what you're talking about does require a lot of time, and you actually have to go into it really wanting to work. I mean, this is not something that you can just kind of lay back and let it happen to you. This involves you really digging and getting deep with yourself, and it's a process, right? There's a lot of work on your own personal level, but to get a fruit out of it that is much deeper than the surface level life that you may be living right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And
go ahead.
I was just going to say, and there are many people out there that may have some clarity right now, and there are also people that may not have clarity. And I just my heart goes out to anyone that might feel lost or might feel without direction in this moment. And I just want you to know, for those that are listening that feel that way, being lost in the darkness without the light is part of this process. And when I learned to accept that, it actually made this process smoother. And so what I would just share for everyone, for those that are feeling lost or in the dark place or in the darkness, don't resist it. Go lean further into the darkness, lean further into feeling lost. And what I found is that the more that I became okay with feeling lost, the more found I became.
Wow. Robert, this has been fascinating. It's been really, really good. And like you said, you have a free offer for people listening, a free meditation, which we'll put the link and everything to that in the show notes, as well as ways people can reach out and connect with you to learn more about you, and then connect with you, possibly to work with you. It's an amazing process. It really is something that I think, even if we don't think about it ourselves, and it's something that we don't take, we just get so into the busyness of life that there are those moments where you're just quiet and you're like, oh my gosh, you're just, where am I? What am I doing? And I need to make sure that what I'm doing is what I really should, and way I can serve the best. And I think this is one of those subjects that hits that very deep.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me on today. I genuinely appreciate it. And my last piece of thought that I would share is we're all called to be soul venturers. We're all called to say yes to the next step. And whatever that step is for you, this is a scary journey for anyone making this. And so if you are experiencing fear, if you are scared, it's okay. And I just invite everyone to take, go with what feels natural to you, go at your pace, and lean into the fear, listen to it. I believe that fear is there for us to listen to, and there's wisdom on the other side. And so that's my biggest piece of advice for anyone going through this journey and stepping out courageously. And for those that would like to learn more, you can visit my website at soul-venturer.com. And for those that would like to even take this a little bit further and learn more about our process, we are offering a free mapping session. For those that would want to learn more, you can learn more about that on the website. You could fill out the form on our website, and it'll guide you to pick a time in my calendar. And then lastly, I have a free gift for everyone. The gift is a guided meditation that I give to all my private one-on-one mastermind clients. And to keep it simple, the purpose of the meditation is to help you uncover just what that next step is for you. This is a journey of just constantly taking the next step. And so we're going to help you uncover what's the next step and what's the unconscious wall you keep running into and how to really work through that. So it's a really beautiful meditation. It's only 20 minutes. You can do it daily. The link to that is soul-venture.com/meditation. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being with me today. I really appreciate it. It was great to connect with everyone.
Robert, it's been a pleasure getting to meet you and have you on here as well. And let's definitely stay connected. Thank you, my friend.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Hey, what's going on? So thank you so much for checking out the podcast. Listen, if you would do me a big favor, if you've enjoyed today's shows and any of the previous shows, go to iTunes and go ahead and click on, first of all, click on subscribe. Second of all, I want you to leave me some love. It's not too much to ask. 5 stars would be awesome. Positive review. And stay safe and healthy out there. I'll see you on the next episode.